Mr. Dada was sweating. His fingers kept tapping the call button. The phone rang again. No response. His wife was on the floor, curled in pain. She was crying, clutching her stomach, begging for him to do something. "Hey, please help me. I can't take it anymore. This pain is too much. Please call him. Call him." He knelt beside her, holding her hand. "It's okay, babe. The prophet will pick. He said he will pray for you. Just hold on, please." Finally, the call connected. "Hello, sir. Sir, she's worse now. She's screaming. Please, I don't know what else to do." The prophet's voice came through calmly. "Well, at this point, you need to send more money. I must rush to the prayer mountain immediately. This is not ordinary, like I used to tell you." But sir, I don't have anything left. I've given you everything. I sold my generator, my TV. I'm in debt already." Then the prophet said, "If there is no seed, there is no sacrifice. I can't help you like this." The line went dead. Mr. Dada stared at the phone. His wife let out a loud scream. Then her body went quiet. He rushed to her, lifted her head, and called her name again and again. But there was no response. She died in his hands. He held her and cried until his voice gave out. Days later, the house was silent. Mr. Dada sat on the couch, staring at nothing. The burial was over. His debts were not. He had borrowed so much money to pay for the prophet's oil, the prayer cloths, the transport fees, and the so-called spiritual items. And now, his wife was no more. He couldn't stop thinking of his daughter Sonia, just a little girl. Who would raise her now? The men he owed were already threatening to call the police. He was tired. He didn't want to talk to anyone. That night, he went to bed and never woke up. He died in his sleep. The relatives came. They cried. They shook their heads. Then they buried him next to his wife. And just like that, Sonia became an orphan. She was taken to the city by his sister. A new life began for her. Years passed. And somehow, Auntie Adora raised Sonia into a woman everyone admired. She was elegant, well-mannered, and God-fearing. She graduated top of her class with a first-class degree in accounting from a prestigious university. Everyone assumed she would end up on Wall Street or working for one of the big firms. But Sonia had other plans. She came back home to serve, joining an NGO that focused on rescuing girls from human trafficking. They gave scholarships, they pulled young girls off the street, they spoke to communities and schools. Madame Adora didn't stop her. She was proud, but she did offer one word of wisdom. "My dear, just have something else on the side. You know how this country is." So Sonia went into forex and cryptocurrency. She studied hard, she made smart trades, and every profit she made went into her personal upkeep, so she could continue doing the work that mattered without being a burden to anyone. Because of the impact the NGO was making, Sonia was invited to speak at a large youth event. She spoke with boldness, wisdom, and clarity. In the crowd was the event organizer, Pascal Briggs. He had been watching her since she stepped on stage. It wasn't just what she said, it was the passion behind her voice. At the end of the event, he approached her. "Ma'am, I usually don't do this, but I believe in what you're doing. Please accept this." He handed her a check of over $10,000. Sonia's eyes widened. "Oh my God, thank you so much. God bless you, sir. God bless you." "I'm not just supporting you, I'm standing with what God is doing through you." She never forgot that day. Weeks later, Sonia went with her friend Lovett to a church concert. While greeting people after the event, she saw Pascal again. "You again?" "Wow, I'm shocked too." "Yeah, but not too shocked. This is actually my church and I am the youth pastor here. The senior pastor to be precise." That night changed everything. A few days later, they went out to dinner. Conversations flowed easily. They spent more time together, and not long after, they fell in love. Eventually, Pascal told his mother Juliet about Sonia. Her response was simple. Have you prayed about it? Yes, Mom, I have. And I have peace with her. Then I don't have a problem. I've heard a bit about her already. I like what she's doing for the girls. May God bless her. The families met. Plans were made. And finally, Sonia and Pascal got married in a beautiful, lavish ceremony. Before the wedding, Pascal had already introduced her to the church as the woman who would stand beside him as they follow God's vision for the house. The congregation received her with open arms. And just like that, Sonia became a pastor's wife. In less than a year, the church had undergone significant changes. The home cells were growing, new members were joining weekly. Sonia's outreach strategies had brought structure and result. She had never been a pastor's wife before, but she was doing it excellently. Her programs were creative, her planning was tight, and she carried herself with grace and authority. People loved her. Some even wrote letters to Pastor Pascal, calling him blessed beyond words to have such a purposeful wife. Others described their love story as impeccable. One evening, after a long leadership meeting, they got home tired. Sonia waited until Pascal sat on the bed loosening his tie. Then she said quietly, I noticed something today. When you were speaking about the missions budget, Pastor Bayo and one of the other pastors were whispering and laughing under their breath. Pascal raised a brow. Maybe they were joking about something else. No, baby. I don't want to assume, but I just feel like during a serious discussion like that, it wasn't right. I'm not trying to create any form of division. Please, don't take it that way. I just think you should be careful. I'll be praying for you. Pascal said nothing, but the thought stayed. A few weeks later, over breakfast, Sonia brought something up again. Honey, I've been thinking, you know how people sometimes have suggestions but don't know how to speak up? What if we created an anonymous feedback form? People can write ideas of what they want to see more of, maybe even share what's not working. Pascal smiled. I never thought of that. That's smart. Let's do it. Sonia offered to help set it up. They launched it on a Sunday. The responses started coming in. Most were light, some praised the leadership, some shared helpful suggestions. But 5 different responses raised concern. Each one described Pastor Bayo being too familiar with women during counseling. Pascal was troubled. Hey, God help us. Babe, I don't know what to say, but remember what I mentioned the last time? At least you can see now I wasn't lying or making things up. But I don't want to believe this. Babe, I know it's painful, but sometimes even faithful men have blind spots. Well, it's up to you to make the decision. Just be prayerful and wise, okay? Pascal called Bayo privately a few days later. He didn't accuse him. He didn't shout. He simply said, I'm transferring you to a quieter branch. Just serve there, no punishment, just caution. Pastor Bayo didn't argue. He accepted it quietly. But that night, he told his wife. She broke down. I told you this thing. I told you, but you will not listen. You're always laughing, always so friendly. Now look, people are staring at me like I'm carrying shame. I don't even know what to believe anymore. They left the church quietly. Then came the unexpected tragedy. One of the associate pastors called Pascal late one evening. Sir, please, where are you? Yeah, sir, that elderly woman who used to sit in the front row, she's been sick. Our daughter says she has been sending messages asking for prayers. Pascal didn't understand. Messages? I didn't see anything. He rushed to the hospital. The woman was on oxygen, weak. Her daughter was by the bedside, eyes red from crying. We sent you messages, sir, more than once. She just wanted to see you. Pascal was confused. But I never saw anything. She showed him. Read receipts, no reply. He froze. 1 hour later, the woman passed. Her daughter cried uncontrollably. She refused to speak to Pascal again. She left the church 2 Sundays later, and people started whispering. Why didn't Pastor respond? She was one of the oldest members. This pastor is becoming very heartless. After everything that happened, Sonia suggested it might be time for Pascal to take a short break from ministry. Babe, just rest. You've carried a lot. Take a few weeks away. Let your heart breathe again. Pascal agreed, and just like that, Sonia took the lead. She continued preaching on Sundays, coordinating the ministry team, attending meetings. Nothing skipped a beat. Her teachings online were going viral. Her YouTube sermons were pulling thousands of views within hours. Even event organizers who used to invite Pascal were now requesting Sonia instead. He noticed, but it didn't bother him much. He still believed it was all for God's glory. At home, Sonia made sure Pascal never felt out. She would cook his favorite meal, lie beside him and say softly, "Babe, you know without you none of this would be possible. You're still the one I honor the most. Thank you for giving me the platform. Thank you for trusting me." One day, Pascal had been restless. There was a mission outreach happening in one of the smaller churches across the border. He told Sonia he felt led to go. So early that Saturday, Pascal packed a small bag. His driver was waiting in the car. They prayed before he left. They were 2 hours into the journey when the car suddenly jerked to a stop. Up ahead, the road was blocked. 3 men stepped into view, armed, faces hard. Before Pascal or his driver could speak, one of the men raised his weapon. The driver didn't wait. They jumped out and ran. Pascal didn't look back. He just ran through the trees until he could hear anything but his own breath. Good Samaritans helped him get to a nearby town. From there, he called Sonia. "Hello, Pascal, where are you? Are you okay? Why are you sounding like this?" "Babe, just thank God. We were attacked by armed men. I'm fine. I escaped. The driver too. He ran into the bush." "What? Jesus, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I decree you shall not die, but you will live to declare the works of the Lord. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father." "Babe, are you okay? You're fine, right?" "Babe, I'm fine. Calm down. So where are you right now?" "Relax, Sonia. I'm coming home. I'll soon be home, right? Okay?" That night, when he got home, she hugged him at the door, tight and crying. She fell to her knees, raised her hands and thanked God. Later that night, she went into the prayer room. He could hear her thanking God for hours. The next morning over breakfast, she looked at him. "Babe, I don't know what's happening. Is it because you've changed some pastors or the new policies you have been making? Why are people turning against you?" Pascal looked up slowly. "Well, I don't know, but I believe God is in control. Okay, eat your food. It'll be fine." A few weeks later, 2 women came to see Pascal after service. One of them introduced herself as Kemi. She pointed to her friend, Bisola. "Sir, she's preparing for an international interview," Kemi said. "We just want you to pray with her. I believe in your prayer, sir, that with God all things are possible." Pascal smiled. "Well, that's not a problem." He laid his hands and prayed with her. Before they left, Bisola handed him an envelope. "Sir, this is just a little seed, but I believe that once I get this job, I will come back again to thank God." "No problem, sister. God bless you." Pascal thanked her. 3 days later, his phone rang. It was Bisola. She didn't sound the same. "Hello, sir. You prayed and I lost the interview. What kind of God do you serve?" "Excuse me?" Pascal sat up. "You call yourself a man of God. I sent a seed. You prayed and yet I failed." Pascal tried to explain. Sister Bisola, don't sister me. Please listen. I am not the one who answers prayer. It's God. And besides, maybe he has better plans for you. Sir, please, permit me to say this. You are very stupid. You are useless. No wonder your wife is better than you. He blinked. She's doing miracles. You can't even pray. That is why most of your members are just dying here and there. The call ended. Pascal dropped his phone and sighed. Sonia walked in. Babe, what is it? What is it? What happened? He explained everything. The phone call, the insult. Sonia sat beside him and held his hand. Aish, people forget that pastors are not God. Please, babe, return her seed if it will give her peace. He nodded. Don't worry, I've already sent it back to her. A week later, Pascal had to visit one of the church new building sites on the outskirts of town. They were constructing a new worship dome. The day was hot and dusty. On the way there, they were stopped by a police checkpoint. Good afternoon, officer. We are Pastor and Pastor Pascal. I'm just going to my new site. One of the officers raised a hand. Sir, please step out of the vehicle. We are conducting a full inspection. Please step aside. The car was thoroughly searched. Then they opened the boot. Everything changed in seconds. A scream came from one of the officers. Another officer stepped back in shock. Inside the boot was a woman's body, unmoving, pale, and dead. Pascal staggered backward. Jesus! What is this? Sir, what is that body doing in your car? Please, gentlemen, please, I don't know. One of the officers pulled out handcuffs. Sir, you are under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Whatever you say will be used against you in the law court. I will never do this. I've been using this car for years. This is not possible. Later that night, Sonia got the call. The voice on the other end said, Madam, your husband is in our custody. A dead body was found in his car. Please come to the station. Sonia rushed to the station. The moment she saw Pascal, she ran to him, held his hands through the bars. Babe, God will bring you out of this. I don't even know what to say. Do you know that the press has been calling to ask questions? I don't even know what to say. What's going on? Sonia, I promise you I don't even know what is happening. How did Bisola body get to my boot? Don't worry. I'll prove that you're innocent, okay? Just breathe. I'll handle everything. I know exactly how to manage this. They prayed together before she left. The next day, Sonia stood before the cameras. She wore all black. Sunshades covered her face. Her voice was calm. I really don't know how to say this, but please believe me when I say I didn't know I married a killer. Gasps filled the live stream chat. She removed her glasses. Her left eye had a cut, dark and bruised. I've been silent for too long. I can show you many bruises on my hand. Finally, God has vindicated me. Many of you know that I've been traveling and preaching around the world. And ever since my husband has been insecure, he has been hitting me. He threatened to kill Bisola a long time ago, after she didn't get the job she wanted. Her voice cracked just enough to feel believable. She reached under the podium and lifted a clear Ziploc bag. These were found in our house this morning during the police search. Charms, fetish items. I've been sleeping beside a stranger. I know people may ask why I didn't leave. Where do you run when your life is threatened? When your ministry, your home, your safety all depend on staying silent. He has threatened me so many times that if I ever speak up, so I have to cover up the bruises and the cuts with makeup. So many times I've tried to defend him. I'm sorry that the truth is finally coming out. I hope you all understand. The internet exploded. Clips went viral. Hashtags trended. Juliet, Pascal's mother, sat in her small living room, tears running down her face. She couldn't eat, she couldn't speak. Her only son, accused, betrayed, condemned. She knelt by the chair, trembling. God, is this a nightmare? Please, let the truth speak louder than lies. Meanwhile, Pascal was told what Sonia had done. They gave him a paper to read. He read it in silence, then broke down in tears. But the verdict had already been given. He was guilty, and the punishment was death by hanging. Because of the media storm, no one was allowed to visit him. Even his mother was blocked. They feared someone might try to smuggle something to help him escape. That morning they tied his hands. He said no words. They led him to the platform. A small wooden stool stood beneath the rope. They placed it around his neck. He looked up once, whispered a prayer. Father, unto your hands I commit my spirit. The executioner gave the signal. Suddenly, thunder. The sky turned black. Lightning flashed across the heavens, and in that moment, a bolt of lightning struck the rope. It snapped. Pascal dropped to the ground. The officers scattered. Some ran, others screamed. One of them fainted. Pascal laid on the floor, dazed. The rope burnt beside him. Across the country, the news spread in seconds. A miracle. The president called the judge personally. This is not ordinary. A rope struck in lightning in clear daylight. We must reopen the investigation. God has spoken. He ordered that Pascal be protected, well-fed, and medically examined. No more solitary, no more darkness. This man deserved dignity while the truth is uncovered. And for the first time since the nightmare began, Pascal finally exhaled. Kemi, the woman who has once smiled and assured Bisola that Pastor Pascal was trustworthy, now sat in front of her phone, trembling. I need to say the truth before God punish me. I can't keep quiet. She was live online. Thousands were watching. I am the lady that took Bisola to go and see Pastor Pascal. Please, that man is innocent. It was Sonia. Sonia planned everything. She told me what to say. She told me how to act. She even told me when to take Bisola to see Pastor Pascal. Bisola was never supposed to have an interview. Sonia arranged for her to be killed and for the body to be hidden in her husband's car. Kemi paused. Tears slipped down her cheeks. I didn't kill anybody. I only obeyed her. But after what happened with that lightning, how the rope cut, I knew this man is a true servant of God. Hey, I don't want any blood on my hands. I'm innocent. And I'm sorry to Pastor Pascal. She ended the video and logged off. The damage was already done. Police arrived at Sonia's house that same day. She was sitting on a cream leather couch, sipping juice from a cup. She didn't panic. As the officer stepped in, she looked up and gave a soft laugh. What took you guys so long? You guys so daft. They arrested her without resistance. She didn't ask for a lawyer. She didn't cry. Pascal was released that evening. When he stepped out of the prison gates, his mother, Juliet, was already waiting. She threw her arms around him and cried. Pascal held her tightly, speechless. They both sat in the police van silent until they were told they could speak to Sonia. Inside the police interrogation room, Sonia was already seated, her arms were crossed, her face calm. Pascal walked in with Juliet behind him. He sat across from her, eyes weary. Sonia, what did I do to you? Why will you do all this to me? Sonia tilted her head. You still don't get it. You are really daft. 25 years ago, your father, your famous wicked father, so-called prophet, killed my parents. Pascal blinked. My father? Yes! My late dad gave him everything, all his saving, believing your father's prayers could heal my mother. We sold our land, our generator, everything. But still my mother died. And when the shame became too much, my father died in his sleep. I made a vow that day I would destroy your entire bloodline. Juliet stepped forward horrified. Sonia turned her gaze to her. I studied your son. I followed his ministry for years. I knew his cycle. I knew his style, his weakness. I saw how emotional he was. I rushed into love without discernment. A true man of God would never have married me. But he did. Obviously, he's fake and he doesn't even hear from God. You married me with your eyes closed. I knew I would get you. Pascal stared in shock. Sonia gave a small laugh. Do you remember that ambush? I planned it when you were going for mission. I wanted you killed then, so that I can ruin everything and kill your mother. But you escaped, and I don't even know how. You thought it was spiritual warfare, but you don't know I was the one planning everything along the way. Pascal's jaw clenched. Sonia smiled again. And still you didn't see me. You prayed, you fasted, you held crusades. Yet your greatest battle was the one who slept next to you. Everything that has ever happened to you, I have been the brain behind it. I chipped away at your self-esteem. Look at you. You're just a piece of vegetable. She leaned back in her chair. Now you know. Outside the station, Juliet was crying. Her voice shook. Your father. I knew his hands weren't clean. That's why I left him. That's why I took you away. I didn't want you to become like him. She gripped Pascal's hand. This is his harvest. But if your own heart wasn't pure, the storm would have buried you too. Pascal had a board meeting and brought back everyone he had removed from the church. And as for Sonia, she was sentenced to death by hanging. Please, make sure you hear God properly and don't be moved by your emotions when picking a partner. And also, if you would like to start an African folktale channel, I'll leave the links in the description box below. And if you need a workbook that will guide you step by step on how to start a 6-figure YouTube channel, I'll leave the link in the pinned comment. And do not forget to like and subscribe. Please click the next video showing on your screen.